Let's get some regional politics now, and there are not the happiest of times for Republican New York gubernatorial candidate Rob Astorino. The Westchester exec, just 3+ months from Election Day, doesn't seem to be gaining a whole lot of traction in his quest for the governor's mansion. But today, his problems aren't just limited to November's opponent, Andrew Cuomo. No, he is now at a war of words with another popular governor in our region. New Jersey governor, Republican governor, and chairman of the Republican Governors Association, Christie. You ask what happened? Well, it all started yesterday when Christie took a trip to Connecticut, and Andrew, you were there, not about this event necessarily, but you were there.
Right, and as I reported yesterday from Greenwich, Christie went to Connecticut to campaign and raise money for Republican challenger Tom Foley, and Christie said he returned to the Nutmeg State as often as he could to help the Foley campaign, which prompted someone to ask, well, Governor Christie is head of the Republican Governors Association that helps Republican candidates get elected governor. Would you also visit New York to help Rob Astorino? Christie's answer, no. Well, that answer might have been better for Astorino than what Christie actually said. Quote, "We don't pay for landslides and we don't invest in lost causes." Adding, if the New York race becomes competitive, I'll consider campaigning in the New York race. And Christie does have a point. Yesterday's new Siena poll has Astorino 37 points down to Governor Andrew Cuomo, 60-23. And as for the money, ouch, Cuomo has more than $32 million war chest advantage over Astorino. So if you're Rob Astorino, how do you respond? Today he went on the attack against Christie, telling reporters, quote, if Governor Christie is unable to help a Republican candidate for governor, then maybe he should consider stepping down as chairman of the RGA. That's his job. And then Astorino turned to Bridgegate and a whopper of an almost allegation. Quote, I don't know if there's a connection between him, Christie, and Andrew Cuomo on Bridgegate, or if Cuomo has something that is holding back information that could be damaging to the governor. Adding, whatever Governor Christie knew or probably knows is probably the same for Governor Cuomo, and if there's anything being held back that Governor Cuomo knows, and if he's holding that over Governor Christie's head, I don't know. Christie is not Astorino's only problem or his biggest. In Monday's poll, 61% of New Yorkers said they didn't know enough about Astorino to form any opinion. It's a problem that FiOS One's Jody Goldberg put to the test yesterday, asking people if they could identify Astorino from a photo. Here's how he did in the county he runs, Westchester.
I have no idea who it is, but by the looks of it, I would assume some sort of councilman, someone running for town board or something in town.
Rob Astorino. You got it.
Yes, I know.
You recognized him.
Yes, I do.
And do you know what he's doing, what he's looking to do this coming election?
Yes, he's running for governor.
All right, so batting 500 in Westchester, but here's how Astorino fared when Jody asked voters on Long Island.
Who is this?
I don't know.
Who is this?
Governor Cuomo.
Okay, do you know who this is?
No.
Rob Astorino.
Oh, I have no idea who he is.
Do you know who this is?
No, not at all.
Does he look familiar?
No.
Jody using a double-edged piece of paper. Maybe she should have used a milk carton. That might have been more.
He's got a real problem here, but can you, for the life of me, we said, listen, after what happened in Connecticut when we had one of the Newtown parents on, as you remember. They went to Trenton because it was a gun control piece of legislation that passed through the legislature, went to the desk of Governor Christie. He vetoed it, but the language he used that almost everyone thought was ridiculously dismissive, if not even callous to those families, it didn't play well. But why does he have to kick Astorino? The way he did here, he could have just said, oh, well, we'll see, time's tough, I'll try and make it to New York, but calling it a lost cause.
You know, to me, this is very much in keeping with the Chris Christie that we know. Look at this is Chris Christie, who has very few friends in the Republican Party in New Jersey. I mean, look at the issues with Kane. I mean, this goes back a long time. So this is in keeping with Chris Christie. And, you know, I think
he is head of the RGA. And their job is to get Republicans elected
Rob Astorino
governor.
is absolutely right. And I think to your point about why he would make this an issue when it doesn't need to be, I go back to my point we talked about before. He is not surrounded by his people. He does not have his top staff around him that he had. And this has become something of a public relations problem for him. There's no reason he had to go there. He could have just said, oh, I'll try to get there. Like you said, we're going to spend our money as best we can. Good luck, Rob. You know, whatever it is. Why do this?
I actually take it from the other perspective, and I have a lot of blame for Rob Astorino and all this. Look, Christie was inelegant in what he said, and how many times have we said that in the past 5 years? But he's down, Astorino's down 30 plus points in the polls, and he's down $30 plus million in the bank. There's no way that the RGA is going to invest in that race until there's some closure in the race. But if you're Rob Astorino, why would you attack Christie? Except you're just bitter. Except you're just bitter. Just let it go and be like, you know what? Our numbers. Once the numbers come up, we'll have Governor Christie around anytime you want.
He was right to attack him. First of all, it got us talking, so it gets him a little more name recognition.
Why would you?
He was attacked.
Why would you come up with some sort of bizarre linkage with Cuomo and Christie that has not been?
That's not bizarre at all.
It has not been. There's no shred of evidence to that.
Andrew, if somebody slaps you, you're going to turn the other cheek. You're going to slap him back. What choice did he have? He couldn't just take that from Christie. Didn't just say, I'm not going to campaign with him. He called his whole campaign a lost cause.
Will win without Governor Christie's help.
I think he was right. I think he came up with a rationale, completely unsourced, but a rationale nonetheless to say, well, we've all said here at the table, we all know that there was a phone call between Governor Cuomo and Governor Christie right at the height of Bridgegate.
And they've gone out of their way not to interfere with each other.
They haven't taken shots. Now, we don't know the contents of the phone call. Neither of the two gentlemen, the only two guys on the phone, have divulged any of it. But Astorino went there, and you know what? I don't blame him after where Christie went with him. So I give Rob credit for that, but you're right. He's being outraised 17-1 right now.
Yeah.
And you've got Cuomo co-opting a lot of Republicans as we speak, and he's got now people like Republican governors as his foot soldiers against Rob. I mean, what more can the guy take on at the moment?
Absolutely. And the Republican Party in New York, shame on them. They should be out there defending their nominee. What type of party is this?
Ed Cox made
Get
a statement
together.
to agree with
He
the
should
chairman.
be out there. He's absolutely right to make that statement. No members of the delegation, giving money to Rob Astorino. You can't win elections without money.
And
this is a problem.
Whether or not Christie wants to campaign for him or not, no one made him be head of the RGA. It's his job to help out other Republicans, not to hurt them, but it's his job to help them. Forget about ignore him. He's going out of his way to pour gas on a fire. Anyway, head over to Facebook and Twitter. Sound off on our question tonight. Is Governor Christie right? Is Astorino's campaign a lost cause? I see nodding. When we come back, everyone, we will switch gears, though, and we will take a look at a new report that might force you possibly to change your opinion when it comes to high school dropouts here. Why they're throwing in the towel, you may be interested to learn. Stay with us.